Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the August Pennsylvania County Planning Commission meeting. Time is 7 o'clock. Roll call, please.
Mr. Webb?
Here.
Mr. Waters?
Here.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Ms. Meese? Here. Mr. Dalton?
Here.
Mr. Oakes? Ms. Henderson?
Here.
Mr. Harker?
Here. If you would, please join me for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Hearing of the citizens, is there anyone here tonight to speak to this board regarding anything that's not on the agenda? Approval of the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Webb, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Waters.
George, come up, James. George, go through, Gary? No. Got a hiccup down there.
We'll give them just a moment to sort that out.
No, I'm not.
There we go. Motion to approve the agenda carries. It was approved. Chairman's report. I don't have any report to give this evening. We'll go right into our public hearing time. What's that? Thank you. Yeah, approval of the minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes from July?
I'll
Mr. Chairman,
make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. Mrs. Meese, was that a second?
that'll be a second, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't see all that, but it looks like the motion carried to approve the minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, pursuant to Article 5, Division 7 of the Pennsylvania County Zoning Ordinance, we, the Planning Commission, have been empowered to hear, decide specific applications in support of said ordinance, and to make recommendations to the Board of Supervisors or the Board of Zoning Appeals. In accomplishing this important task, we are charged with promoting the health, safety, general welfare of the citizens of Pennsylvania County. We must ensure that all of our decisions and recommendations be directed to these goals and that each be consistent with the environment the comprehensive plan and in the best interest of Pittsylvania County, its citizens, its posterity. Anyone here to speak to the board regarding the zoning cases will be limited to 3 minutes. At 7:05, case R-23-017 is open for public hearing. Ms. Ragsdale.
Mr. Chairman, case R-23-017, Gwendolyn Averett had petitioned to rezone her property from RC1 Residential Combined Subdivision District to B2 Business District General to allow for a daycare. However, she has requested to withdraw her application at this time, so the board would need to vote on whether or not you will allow the application to be withdrawn without penalty.
Okay. Do I hear a motion in that regard?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion on case R-23-017, that she can reapply for the rezoning.
Okay. Motion to grant that request. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Henderson. Please cast your vote. Motion carries. At 7:06, case R-23-021 is now open to public hearing. Mrs. Ragsdale.
Case R-23-021, Kevin and Francis Reynolds have petitioned to rezone 2.28 acres located on Caveway Lane in the Callens-Gretna Election District from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow for the placement of a second dwelling on the property. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, Francis Reynolds is here to represent the petition.
Francis Reynolds. Yes. Do you have anything you'd like to share with this board that we don't already have in our packet?
Not really, purpose was to add on a garage with just a living quarters above the garage, bathroom.
Okay. At 7:07, public hearing is closed. Mrs. Meese.
Mr. Chairman, in case R-23-021, I make a motion that we present this to the Board of Supervisors to approve to rezone from R1 to residential suburban subdivision to A1 agricultural district. I've had no opposition, no phone calls.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Meese. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Webb. Please cast your votes. Motion carries 7 yes, 0 no. At 7:08, case R-23-022 is now open for public hearing. Mrs. Ragsdale.
Case R-23-022, Larry Dalton has petitioned to rezone 2.38 acres located on State Road 713, Oak Grove Road, in the Dan River Election District from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow for property lines to be adjusted. Once the property is rezoned to R1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, Larry Dalton is here to represent the petition.
Mr. Dalton, would you come forward? Mr. Dalton, are you here?
If he's not,
Yeah,
I'll be
okay.
happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions? If not, then at 7:09, public hearing is closed. Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, on case R-23-022, I would like to present to the Board of Supervisors to approve the rezoning of R1 to A1 agricultural.
Motion by Mr. Brown. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Oakes. Thank you. Please cast your vote. Motion carries, 7 yes, 0 no. At 7:10, case R-23-023 is now open for public hearing. Mrs. Ragsdale.
Case R-23-023, Willie Thompson has petitioned to rezone 11.18 acres located on State Road 746 Golf Club Road in the Chatham Blair's election district from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow the property to be subdivided. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Willie Thompson is 100 years old, so he is not here. He is subdividing the property to allow his daughter to build a house near him, but I'll be happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Thank you. And any questions for Mrs. Ragsdale? All right, and at 7:11, public hearing is closed. Mr. Waters.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion on case R-23-023 for Willie Thompson in this rezoning case to be approved and presented to the Board of Supervisors for approval also.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Brown. Thank you. Please cast your vote. Motion carries, 7 yes, 0 no. At 7:12, case R-23-024 is now open for public hearing. Mrs. Ragsdale.
Case R-23-024, David and Mary Ellen Wright have petitioned to rezone 20.78 acres located on State Road 841 Whispering Pines Road and State Road 848 Joe Carter Road in the Tunstall Election District from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow the property to be used for agricultural purposes. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, Mary Ellen Wright is here to represent the petition.
Mary Ellen? Yes. Did you have anything you'd like to say to this board? Okay, all right, thank you so much. Haven't had anybody sign up to speak against any case tonight, so does anybody have any questions? And at 7:13, public hearing is closed. Mr. Oakes.
Mr. Chairman, in case of R-23-024, I make a motion that we change it, the zoning from R1 residential to A1 agriculture.
Motion by Mr. Oakes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Waters. Thank you. Motion carries, 7 yes, 0 no. At 7:14, case S-23-009 is now open for public hearing. Mrs. Ragsdale.
Case S-23-009, Michael Blackwell has petitioned for a special use permit on 8.5 acres located on State Road 863 Laniers Mill Road in the Chatham Blair's election district for a public garage. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, Michael Blackwell is here to represent the petition.
Okay. Mr. Blackwell? Yes, sir. Did you have anything that you'd like to say to this board? Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Waters.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I've spoken with Mr. Blackwell by phone and made him aware of the 2 conditions, and he said that shouldn't be an issue with his case. So I make a motion that we approve the case R-23-009 to allow for a public garage on his 8.5 acres.
All right.
Is that with the 2 conditions?
With conditions, yes.
Motion with conditions by Mr. Waters. Is there a second?
I'll I'll second.
Second by Mr. Webb. Thank you. Motion carries 7 yes, 0 no. At 7:15, case S-23-010 is now open. Public hearing. Mrs. Ragsdale.
Case S-23-010, Joseph Reynolds has petitioned for a special use permit on 0.88 acres located on State Road 851, Peach Orchard Road, in the Tunstall Election District for the placement of a double-wide mobile home. Staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, Joseph Reynolds is here to represent the petition.
Mr. Reynolds, do you have anything you'd like to say to this board? Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Any other questions for this board? No. If not, 7:16, public hearing is closed. Mr. Oaks.
Mr. Chairman, in case S-23-010, I make a motion that we issue a special use permit to allow for a double-wide mobile home.
Motion by Mr. Oaks. Is there a second?
A second.
Second by Mrs. Meese. Please cast your votes. Motion carries. 9 votes. 0. You did? Yeah. For the record, that would be 7 yes, 0 no. At 7:17, case S-23-011 is now open for public hearing.
Case S-23-011, Joy Hardy has petitioned for a special use permit on 23.39 acres located on State Road 878, Duncan Drive, in the Westover Election District for a private club. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, Joy Hardy is here to represent the petition.
Ms. Hardy? Yes. Come on up to the microphone so we can hear you for the record.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's not really a private club. We just, we want to have an annual fundraiser for the Pittsylvania County SPCA on our land. It's called the Puppapalooza. We had one last year, and we didn't know we had to go through this, and we got slapped on the wrist. And so we're trying to do it this year, but we're not trying to build a clubhouse or anything. We're just
Right.
trying to have it there, and it's family-friendly, kid-friendly, dog-friendly, and we made $7,000 last year. This is our president.
It's our annual fundraiser, and we appreciate it if y'all can approve it.
Absolutely. Any questions for?
I do have a question.
Yes, Mr. Webb.
The special use permit for a club, I know for now it's related solely to Pennsylvania County's SPCA. But once the special use permit is issued, is it open if another club uses the property in the future? Is it limited to this?
It would run with the land, so if Mrs. Hardy sold the property, another private club could operate on this property. I don't know that she has any intention of
I'll never
of
sell. I've been there
selling
since
the
I was
land.
5. And I'll never let another club use it, so. we're not-
So the operation of a private club would allow them to hold events related only to the SPCA, because this would be designated as their clubhouse, so they could hold fundraising events and things of that nature on the property related to this particular club, the SPCA of Pennsylvania County. But if she did sell, someone could in the future operate another club at that location, yes.
Okay. All right, and I guess my only thought was, if the adjoining property owners would have thought past the existing use now, as far as making any complaints or suggestions about a special use permit, nobody's going to argue the SPCA using it for an annual fundraiser once a year. But down the road, you can have a different club that will have multiple meetings and events throughout the year. Now, the two stipulations that you've got, or actually 3.
Yes, that would transfer with the property.
Now, having said that, that was more for my application, so to speak. But just wanted to make that point. Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if nobody else has a question,
Does,
I'll make a motion.
does anybody else have any questions for Mr. Hardy? Go ahead, Mr. Webb.
All right, Mr. Chairman, as in regards to case S-23-011, I make a motion that we make a recommendation for approval to the zoning board
Okay.
with
If-
the stipulations listed by staff.
Okay. I'm gonna close the public hearing and then,
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna have you repeat that, okay? At, 7:21, public hearing is closed. Now, Mr. Webb, I'm sorry.
We have it on audio tape and just play it back. Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
in regards to case S-23-011, I make a motion that we make a recommendation to approve the special use permit to the zoning board for the SPCA to operate a private club with the stipulations provided by staff.
Motion by Mr. Webb. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Oakes. Please cast your votes. Thank you, Ms. Hardy. You guys can sit down. Thank you. Motion carries, 7 yes, 0 no. Old business.
So I just want to remind the Planning Commission members that we will have our next bi-monthly meeting on the 10th. That is for the zoning ordinance update. We'll be meeting with the consultants to go over the final section of the zoning ordinance that they have updated. We will have one more meeting in October. And that will be one final wrap-up over the entire ordinance. And then from that point, we will go into the public comment period and then move towards adoption early to middle of 2024. So that will be at 5:30 on Thursday, August 10th, and that will be in this room. So you'll be getting a packet sometime later this week, early next week. With all of the information and those updated sections in it for your review. And that's all I have for old business.
Okay. New business.
We will have a meeting next month. It should be fairly short. We have one rezoning and 2 special use permit cases. We don't have the information with us tonight, so Robin will be emailing that to you.
All right. Well, since everybody was in agreement all night, I guess we can agree to adjourn, unless somebody had anything else. All right, we're stand adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.